Welcome to the Up-Level Dairy Podcast. I'm your host, Peggy Caufine, and it's my mission to bring you the conversations that will up-level your skill set and your mindset so you can be a top performer in the dairy farming business. And this week, we bring to you a three-part series to celebrate the month of March: International Women's Day, Women's History Month, National Agriculture Day, and that is why we are right here today at Pagel's Ponderosa Dairy in Kewaunee, Wisconsin. We will be visiting with three very special guests, three women who are leading the way right here on the dairy, within their community, and far beyond into the industry. Jamie Witz-Pollock, Chase Pagel, and Ashley Pagel, each who bring a special and unique gift and experience to the roles that they have in moving this dairy farming business and family enterprise forward. This family has endured their share of hardships, particularly the tragic loss of John T. Pagel 6 years ago, the family patriarch and well-loved leader in this industry, as well as son-in-law Steve Witz-Pollock. Yet, this family has rallied together to carry on a legacy and a business, and you will be hearing from Jamie, Chase, and Ashley of the unique gifts that they are bringing, their experiences, and their true resilience that combine to continue to move Pagel Family Businesses forward. This special series is brought to you by Compeer Financial. Compeer Financial is a member-owned farm credit cooperative serving and supporting agriculture and rural America. Their dairy team brings world-class expertise and tailored solutions to support dairy producers' financial goals and lending needs. Find details for Compeer Financial in our show notes. In this episode, we welcome Chase Pagel. Welcome, Chase.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So, Chase, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Chase Pagel, and I am a member of Pagel Family Businesses. My husband and his family, his sister and brother, run Pagel Family Businesses, and I've been fortunate enough to be part of the family and be part of the farm. I started out in 2008 working at the heifer facility and have worked my way up into the dairy. We've got 4 kids, 2 girls, 2 boys. Our oldest daughter, Kylie's 21. Jalen is 14, Jackson is 13, and Jace is 10. Kylie is currently working at the dairy, and the other 2 are still in, or the other 3 are still in school. So,
and over the years, you've served a few different roles and worn a few different hats here.
Yes, in 2008, I started in the barn working with the cows, doing herd health, scraping alleys. I actually started with the heifers at the heifer facility in Coleman. And then throughout the years, in 2012, OSHA came in and I started working in the safety department. And I did some HR roles, I did tours, events, and then over the years I took the safety department from a 1-person department into 4 people. And now I am currently in the process of transitioning out of the safety role. My assistant has stepped up into my role, and I am on to some new endeavors.
So you've been very involved with the evolution of Pagel Family Businesses with JJ as your husband, but really your beginnings here started right in the barn.
Yep.
And developed into you leading the safety initiatives. Mm-hmm. And that's a role that you still serve in as a consultant today.
Yep.
And as you mentioned, Chase, you have moved on to some other things.
Yep, so currently I am in the process of publishing my first book. I actually have it right here with us today. It will be coming out on April 1st of 2024, and I'm very excited. It's a story of my daughter Kylie and the steer that she had at the heifer facility we had in Coleman, and his favorite thing to eat were strawberry Pop-Tarts. And so it's a story of her, him, and his love of strawberry Pop-Tarts.
And what's the title of this book?
It's Rosco's Sweet Treats.
Rosco's Sweet Treats.
Yep.
Yeah, and so this was inspired by your own experiences with your daughter Kylie, with your family, as a mom, as part of the farming operation, and you took that and you put your creativity and your ideas onto some pages. And so this really is a combination of your passions, right? For storytelling and for telling a story of modern family farming.
Yeah, as my job evolved in the farm, I was able at one point to take over tours and events, and during that time I got to read stories to a lot of kids that came into the farm for farm tours, and every story that was out there was a little red barn with one cow, one cat, one dog, a chicken, a pig, and they weren't really comparable to what we really have on our farms today. So through the years, I've always talked about possibly writing a book about Rosco, and after years of saying I should really write a book, my husband JJ's like, you know what, you got to do it. Either stop talking about it or just do it. And so I took that time and I researched how to write a book, how to publish a book, and I came up with a bunch of other ideas that are all around our family, our farm, other people's farms, other people's families, and hope to put those into a series of books that are realistic to what we see every day on the farm and what we do every day as families, and different things that farmers do that people don't see on a normal everyday basis.
So really, your inspiration, motivation for Rosco Sweet Treats to take your ideas and to actually turn them into a book that you now have in your hands and will soon be in the hands of many, many more people. It came from a problem that you identified as a person who gave tours here at Pagel's Family Businesses with the farm, and that was that the books that you were reading to children, they weren't in true alignment with what you believed should be taught and should be shared as the story of modern family dairy farming. How is your book different?
Well, just to start out, the cover itself, there's not a little red barn on it. The cover is actually a picture that I sent to the illustrator that I worked with, and I said, here's a picture of the farm that this happened, and I'd like it to look like this. And she outdid my expectations, and she made it look exactly like the picture that I gave her. And it is a barn that is actually standing at our heifer facility in Coleman, so you can look at the cover and you can drive by and see the exact same barn. So it's bringing the things that we see on our dairies and making them come to life on the pages of the book. You're able to take a family farm that you see out in your community and you're able to put it onto the book and see it there. So it makes it more realistic. So if somebody's not from the area or not from a farming community, if they drive down the road and they see a barn like that, they're not going to be like, what is in there? What's going on? They're going to be like, oh, I've seen a barn like that. That's, that's a dairy barn, or that's a heifer barn, or, it's going to be able to take people's perception and change it towards what they're actually going to see.
Yeah, so your bigger vision with this project, your hope and your dream is to have that impact. How would you describe the influence, the bigger picture influence that this effort will have through Rosco Sweet Treats and, as you mentioned, some other ideas that are floating around in your mind?
It's just the ability to educate people outside of them having to come here to see the farm itself, being able to give them stories and show them what our family looks like, what our farm looks like. And you may be educating the children that are reading the book, but you're also educating the adults that are reading the book to the children. And so being able to do that, being able to reach out and, if I change one perspective on the way people look, in my books, every farm that's in the books, they're all family farms. They're all owned by families at the end of the day, and there's people and there's families behind all of these different farms that you're going to see. The second book that we have coming out later on this year is Big Farm, Little Farm, and it's going to really go over a lot of the farms that we have in the local area here. It'll have our family farm, it'll have a smaller mom and pop family farm, it'll have a tree farm that's a family farm, an apple orchard, a cherry orchard, a vegetable farmer. There's a local gal that gets goat milk from a nearby neighbor and she makes soap. These are all things that are done through families and farms that are in this area, and I want people to understand that a farm is not just somewhere where a cow gets milked, but a farm can be where you grow trees, where you grow vegetables. So being able to reach out and get people to understand that and see how impactful these families and how much work these families put in to make things that they get to use and have every day in life. So
yeah, and your vision is big.
mm-hmm.
It sounded like initially it was telling the true story of your family farm right here, but then you have expanded it to include diverse areas of agriculture,
mm-hmm.
as well as other farmers of different sizes, scales, right here in your local area. Why was it important to you to go bigger with your vision beyond just Pagel's?
Because I don't think that everybody understands how there's so many different types of agriculture and so many different types of farms out there. I mean, you do see little red farm books out there, but you don't see little red apple orchard books out there or little red Christmas tree. So it's being able to get people to understand that there's so much that goes into agriculture. And a lot of things that we do here at the farm is we really like to educate the youth in understanding that you can work an egg, but you don't have to necessarily work on a dairy farm and milk a cow. You can go out and you can do agronomy and work with plants. You can go out and you can grow vegetables. You can go out and you can finance. There's so many jobs that you can do. And I mean, just look at yourself. You can go out and do podcasts and interviews and talk to people and still be part of the egg industry in the egg inspiration. And that's something that I just want kids to understand, is there's so much more to agriculture than just working on a farm. There's so much more out there that you can understand and explore, and just getting people to understand and know that.
Chase, your vision for this book and its impact it's really beautiful, and it's very inspiring. And tell me, who do you hope reads this book? Who do you hope has this book in their hands and is able to receive the messages that you so intentionally crafted?
To be honest, I hope everybody reads it, and I hope everybody is touched by one part or one series of the books. Really, just even that one person. I've done a lot throughout the years, and I was at a conference a couple years ago, and I befriended a gal there, and after having conversations with her for the weekend, I raised my hand at an event, and not thinking that my raising my hand was going to be impactful for anybody else besides myself. And then I got to go on stage at this event, and lo and behold, she was on stage next to me. And at the end, we got off stage, and I was so excited because she was really excited to meet the people that were on stage. And at the end of it, she's like, I raised my hand because I saw you raise your hand. And that really hit me that, maybe there is something out there that I can do to bring awareness, to be an inspiration, to make people see and understand what we do, and to just change people's perspective on how the egg industry runs and works, and how much love and joy that we bring into doing that and touching one person or getting one person to see differently. That's all I can really hope for.
Yeah. And what you just shared, that story of inspiring someone else just because they saw your action,
mm-hmm.
The story that I hear in that, Chase, is that you have been inspiring others for a very long time, and now you've channeled it into the pages of a book, and that book will reach children, will reach adults, and will have an impact not just for the community right here, but so far beyond. And I want to take it back closer to home for a moment, because in many ways, this book and the books that are yet to come from you and your creativity, they also capture your family and your family's story. These books will be a cherished piece of the history of your family and the farm. So speak for a moment about your family.
Well, the first book is about our oldest daughter. It's back when she was about, I'd say 9 or 10 years old, and she's 21 now, so it's quite a ways back there. But being able to put that on the pages, and then now she does tours at the farm. So for her, she gets to read a book about herself to kids, and she gets to educate them on the story that she's lived, the life that she's lived. And then I get to just take a little bit from each of my kids and I get to put it in story form so that they have those memories, and those memories will get passed down to their kids and their kids' kids, and so on and so forth. And it'll be a legacy and a way to keep those memories in the family, and they'll be able to look at them. My family is my inspiration on why I do all of it. I wouldn't have these stories if we wouldn't do these crazy things like giving our steer Pop-Tarts. But they're great memories that I just get to share with the world, and they're great memories that I get to share with my kids and my family.
Yeah, so there are many ways that you taking the action to turn your idea into a book will have an impact right here within your own family as well. And I know you mentioned Kylie. Tell us about the rest of your family.
We have Jalen, who is 14 years old. We have Jackson, who's 13, and Jace is 10. Jace is our little farmer. He likes to grow vegetables. We've got a sunroom, and he likes to start his vegetable garden in the sunroom. And so there'll be a little picture of him in the next book growing his garden. And then Jackson, when he was younger, I'm hoping to do a story, Moon Night Heifers, because when he was 2, every night we had to go through all the barns in the wagon and say goodnight to all the heifers before he would go to bed. And then Jalen and Jackson get to come out in the book Rosie, and that's going to be about a preemie calf that we had born over a weekend, so she couldn't be alone by herself all weekend, so she moved into our house with us, into the garage. And she was so tiny, she couldn't eat out of the pails that we usually use, so we used our popcorn bowl, and I have pictures of the kids feeding her and taking care of her, and then she ran around in the yard with the dogs. So they all get to come to life in all these different stories and be part of. My daughter Jalen, she is interested in writing one day, and so kind of exploring possibly maybe getting her to co-write one of the books with me, so that way she can understand and know how the process works. It took a little bit for me to understand the process, so being that she's so young, being able to give her the opportunity to see how it works and see how it's done ahead of time, and give her the opportunity to get ahead if that's something that she's truly interested in.
Yeah, and you just mentioned the process. So take a moment and share, what has the process been like of being able to take an idea and turn it into something that you now can hold in your hand?
Yeah, it's a process. I did not know how much work went into publishing a book. It really started figuring out how I wanted to publish. Did I want to self-publish? Did I want to go the traditional way of finding a publisher? I did send out my manuscript, and I got a lot of really good feedback. And it was one call that I took in December of 22. A lady, her name is Tracy, and she owns Titletown Publishing in Green Bay. And she was just such a wonderful lady to talk to on the phone, and I just told her a little bit about our family and our story and my idea for the first book and the books to follow, and she loved it. We put together a Zoom call, and I had a whole PowerPoint with pictures of the kids, and she just fell in love with the family, the story, and really the goal, the idea, the big picture at the end of the day. And so we started working together at the beginning of the year in 2023, and she has really been a great coach in teaching me and guiding me on how this works. We had to find a illustrator to do the pictures. I'm not talented that way. I can draw a little bit, but not that great. So we were able to find a great illustrator, Mariana, and she has done wonders with everything that I've given her and everything that I've not given her. So she's an inspiration herself. So we've been working with her, and you need time to create the pictures, put everything together. And so by the end of it, we actually didn't get it to go into getting published until this year. So it took a little over a year to get it done. And this is probably one of the hardest things that I've done because I am a go-getter. I like to just run and get things done, and I had to be so patient. I've worked on my patience so much this year, but at the end of the day, it was all worth it because now we have a book and we're getting ready to launch, and we're getting ready to get out there in the community and really show them this book and then get them excited for the things that are yet to come.
So this book, Rosco Sweet Treats, but it sounds like there's a series
that
is coming out as well.
We are hoping there's a series. Currently, I have about 8 books that are in my head or on paper that I'm working on, and it's a mixture of family stories and, like I had said earlier, the one with looking at all the different types of agriculture. So it's a mixture really between educational and fun family stories. I hope to do like a dairy alphabet, farm alphabet, but bringing more of the terms that we use on the dairy, that it's not going to be just D is for dog, C is for cat. We're going to bring in like F is for family farm and H is for heifer, and explain and show pictures on what those things are, so there's a little bit more understanding. And so yeah, we hope to have a series. We need the first book and the second book to do good in order to keep going, but we have high hopes, and I think as long as we can keep getting out there and telling people the story, I think that'll help to get them to buy the book and want to read the book to their kids.
Absolutely. And Chase, as a mom who has sat down and read farm books to my own children, I am with you and would have loved at their ages when they were little, but still now, to have one book, just one book, if not a series, that depicted modern family farming. And you have given that gift to other moms like me in the dairy community, and again, so far beyond. And for those that are listening and watching and want their own copy of Rosco Sweet Treats and want to follow on your journey as an author, as you expand your collection, and really as you expand your service to the dairy industry, how can they find you, follow you, and get their own copy?
So we are on Facebook and Instagram. It's Dairy Diaries LLC is our Facebook, and we have everything listed on there. We'll be posting events on there, but then you can go on Amazon, you can go on Walmart and Barnes & Noble. Right now you can pre-order the book, and then the book will be coming out April 1st. And then we're hoping to just kind of keep at her in adding other retailers and other outlets. I know I've talked to a few of the families that are going to be in the second book, and they're excited for Christmas and being able to display those in their shops over the holidays. So there's a lot of opportunity, and we're just excited to see where we can all take it.
Oh, absolutely. The sky is the limit. So, Chase, with this book that's really, and the series that you will be producing, it's really a gift to those of us in the dairy community to be able to multiply your effort by sharing in that story. And so I hope some of our listeners out there take advantage of the opportunity to pre-order multiple books to share within their dairy promotion groups, within their communities as they welcome people to their farm, give farm tours, get out and share those messages. And you have so beautifully articulated and orchestrated a tool for all of us to use as we can help you share this message that you've put into the pages of Rosco Sweet Treats and the many Dairy Diaries book series to come. And so, Chase, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I would just like to really thank you for the opportunity to be able to talk about the book and give everybody the inspiration and the goals that I'm looking at ahead of time. And I just thank anybody that's out there that's either bought the book or buying the book, and I really thank them for helping make this dream a possibility. So thank you guys very much.
Thank you. And Chase, it's not just a book. It's a lot more than that.
Thank you.
And thank you for your work and putting this together for the rest of us to be able to have as a tool in sharing dairy story.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Up Level Dairy Podcast. This special series is brought to you by Compeer Financial. Compeer Financial is a member-owned farm credit cooperative serving and supporting agriculture and rural America. Their dairy team brings world-class expertise and tailored solutions to support dairy producers' financial goals and lending needs. Find details for Compeer Financial in our show notes.